This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your source for the latest Iowa ag news headlines right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, Mark Magnuson, and Andy Peterson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Riley.
Good day and welcome to Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. Today is Friday, February 24th of 2025, and we are so glad you can join us for today's show. In today's episode, I'll visit with Matt Roberts of Syverson Strege. We'll also have the closing market analysis, but before we get into any of that, I talked with Matt yesterday about some things at the beginning of the year that you can do for your financial planning. We're all still kind of in that New Year's resolution mindset. So when it comes to financial planning, that's something that's very much worth it to take care of in the long run. Of course, when it comes to financial planning, there's a lot you can do to maybe be a little smarter with your financial planning. So Matt, thanks so much for stopping by the office today. What are some of the top things that people can keep in mind, especially farmers, as we head into a pretty volatile year to make sure that their financial plans are secure?
Yeah, great question, and a great time of year to start thinking about these things. There should be some energy around getting this new year started. And so there are a few things that I think farmers and people in general should be thinking about as they think about their financial plan. And the first is making sure that you have an estate or succession plan in place. And roughly a third of Americans don't have a will at all. And I'd guess of that third that do, it's pretty outdated. So maybe commit yourself to dusting off that old estate plan or creating that estate plan to make sure that the state doesn't decide where your wealth goes, because for many people, they don't have as complex of a situation as a farmer does. And so maybe the state plan for your estate isn't what makes the most sense for your family.
Then, of course, when it comes to those estate plans, it's not even necessarily the political climate that can have as much of a change. Of course, it can because of inheritance laws and everything. But when it comes to just the climate of the economy, having that plan in place to make it to where, yeah, if it is a little rougher, you still have that security is very key, I think.
I absolutely agree. If you've got on-farm and off-farm heirs, and the on-farm heir wants to be in a position to take over the farm, the estate plan can play a critical role in that. When you go through a tough farm economy, that burden could be even greater.
So when we are potentially facing a tough farm economy, I mean, we've heard rumblings of pretty solid rumblings of tariffs that are going to be applied to the ag marketplace. Being smarter in that ag economy, making those smarter financial decisions, even outside of the financial planning, it's kind of a time of sit back and watch and do what you can, right?
Yeah, I think you can control what you can control. You can't control what the markets do. You can't control politics or laws, but you can control your own situation. And one of those things that I encourage a lot of our farm families to do is minimize the debt and find opportunities to reduce that. Also, interest rates are still pretty high right now. And so if you can find an opportunity in the next 12 to 24 months to refinance, if rates come down, that could be something that could be considered as well. So it reduces, again, that burden as we go through these tough times. You don't have as significant of a payment to make there.
And we've mentioned before when it comes to these estate plans that sometimes there's a conversation that you don't necessarily want to have, and a pretty emotional conversation, but still a very important one to have. And I think if you approach it from that mindset of, we're just making things easier, not that we're planning for imminent things to happen, that can make that conversation go a little bit smoother.
Yeah, I think that, doing these things is really a sign of love to your family and making sure that they're set up for success. It doesn't have to be a negative tone to that conversation. But I do think the conversations need to take place once that plan's established.
All right, Matt, lots of great information today. For anyone who would like to get in touch with Syverson Strege, first off, how does that process begin getting in contact?
Yeah, certainly just give us a call at 515-225-6000. One of our financial planners would be happy to have a no-cost private consultation with you to talk about your situation and figure out if there's anything we can do to help.
And of course, that private consultation that you said no cost as well, just to make sure that people are getting the things that they need.
Absolutely. We want to make sure that you're getting answers to your questions. And if we're able to help, great. But if there are other resources out there that can help you with what you're trying to accomplish, we'll direct you that way.
All right, Matt, thanks again for stopping by the office today, and have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, thanks, Riley.
That again was Matt Roberts of Syverson Strige. We'll take a look at the closing markets next, but first, here's a word from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soy Checkoff. This is Ag Matters PM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
Welcome back to Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, and it's time now to take a look at the closing markets of Sam Trainor of agmarket.net. First off, Sam, it's been a pretty crazy week so far for the ag markets. What do we see going on in the grains today?
We saw a little bit of a pullback in the grains today. Corn and beans both finished the day a little bit lower, although they did bounce back off the lows of the day. Both corn and beans opened sharply lower last night on some news out of Argentina that they are going to be providing some tax credits for their exports on agricultural goods, which will include corn and soybeans. So could hurt the demand for U.S. products here, and that was the reason for the sell-off overnight. But like I said, we were able to recover from that and close off of those lows.
And I know the export sales weighed in a little bit on that as well. Within the range of estimates, but from what I've heard, still above what we usually see at this time of year for this week.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. Both corn and soybeans were at the high end of their trade expectations. So very good sign to see that continue here. We've had a good string of exports, and we'll look for that to remain here. Big story has been tariffs and whether or not that's going to have an impact on our exports. So far, we have not seen any new tariffs be imposed. Heard the date of February 1st get thrown around as potential for some of those getting placed, but as of right now, we don't have anything, and export pace continues at a good level here. So we'll continue to monitor that and hope that continues. And it's definitely feeding the rallies that we've seen. Obviously, today are down a little bit, but the trend has definitely shifted from being lower for most of 2024 to seems like 2025 is off on a good note, going higher.
And then on the livestock side of things with the cattle and hogs, I know cattle had a pretty great day today.
Absolutely, they just keep making new highs here. Both live and feeders were up sharply today. Started out kind of quiet, but as the day progressed, they continued marching higher, and we're at levels that we have not seen ever in live cattle contracts. Earlier this week was the first time that a live cattle contract traded above 200, and here today it looks like the February contract is just shy of 205. So just an incredible move in these cattle markets that we've been seeing recently. And this afternoon we will have a cattle on feed report, so be looking forward to see what that entails. But with these funds being so heavily long right now, and they continue to buy this market, it's just been one of those that's been fun to watch because it's just seems like there's no end in sight here. It just keeps going higher and higher.
And then with the cattle trading so much higher, how have the hog markets looked?
Hogs were higher as well. They were up about $1 across the board. Obviously, some contracts were a little bit lower, but that April contract is the most heavily traded contract currently as far as volume is concerned, and they were up about $1. So yeah, continue to see some strength there as well. They have not been nearly as strong as the feeders and fats on the livestock side of things, but it's helping pull them along nonetheless.
All right, Sam, lots of great information today. For anyone who would like to get in touch and learn more from agmarket.net, how can they do that?
Best way would be to visit us at our website at agmarket.net, or you could give us a call here in Normal at 1-800-779-1515.
All right, Sam, thanks for the analysis again, as always, and we look forward to talking again soon.
Very good. Thank you.
Thanks again to the folks at agmarket.net for joining us every day of the week for our closing markets. Let's take a look at the closing market prices through the market window at iowaagnet.com. March corn down 3 1/4 at 486 1/2. March soybeans down 9 3/4 at 1055 3/4. March soybean meal down 10.40 at 304.90. Soybean oil up 18 cents at 45.22. Chicago wheat down 10 even at 544 even. Kansas City hard red wheat down 11 1/4 at 559 1/2. Minneapolis spring wheat down 9 1/4 at 595 1/4. March oats down 7 even at 360 1/4. On the Merc, February live cattle up 367 at 204.77. March feeders up 250 at 276.57. February lean hogs up 17 cents at 82.30. Pork cutout went unchanged at 91.32. And February class 3 milk up 17 cents at 19.32. And that's been a check of the markets here on Ag Matters PM. That also brings us to the end of today's show. You can find all of our content on our website at iowaagnet.com. Also follow us on Facebook, X, and LinkedIn, and find our video content as well as previous episodes of AM/PM on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to see when those videos go live. As always, check out our free midday, morning, and closing market podcast, as well as the Iowa Ag Matters podcast, which just released another episode today, and Pods of Potential, which released its 16th episode. Again, find those on your favorite podcasting service at Apple, Amazon, Spotify, and Podbean, or on our website at iowaagnet.com. From the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network studios in Des Moines, I'm Riley Smith. On behalf of Mark Magnuson, Andy Peterson, and Dustin Huffman, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.